All right, Shalom. Salakia.
The Justice Department calling.
Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahak Radash. Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth. Shalom to the elder bishops out of Connecticut, who will also listen and learn this 100% truth from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, the water for your sacrifices, as well as Shalom to the elders and the prophets, the teachers and evangelists of Great Millstone, who are also listening to learn this 100% truth from. Shalom also to the speckled bird, the confused face, the Akim and Akwaf, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. And I have a couple of videos that I'm going to play and build some scriptures around them to filter what's going on right now with what the scriptures have always predicted some time ago. So with that, we're going to go to the first one. Let's get it.
The killing just.
Please understand me. I hope you understand me. And it's like I've been telling you for a long time. These ICE agents, these mercenaries, this goon squad, these slave raiders, they're trying to provoke you. That's what they're doing. And the power structure is trying to provoke you. And if you're paying attention, you'll see that there's a campaign running right alongside these escalating ICE attacks, a social media campaign that's trying to incite you to violence, trying to incite you to revolution, to rise up, to fight back, on and on. They hope you will. I'm telling you, they hope you will. That's exactly what they want you to do. You need to understand that when someone provokes you, it doesn't matter, in any given scenario, when someone provokes you, they are trying to dictate your options to you. You understand? They're making moves precisely to try to draw you into making the counter moves that they want you to make. And the state is typically, in boxing, you've got strikers and you've got counter punchers. You have fighters who excel at and who specifically train to be counter punchers. Means they set you up to throw a punch because they are trained in how to deliver their most powerful punches in that moment right after you throw your punch. And typically the state, like I say, any state is most powerful as a counter puncher. They're baiting you to throw your punch because they've got that counter punch already loaded up, ready to go, locked and loaded. And you see, again, because you don't have your own genuine foundation. You don't have your own genuine moral structure. You don't have your own genuine frameworks, moral frameworks. So when push comes, the only thing you can think to do is shove. Even with all your turn the other cheek Judeo-Christian rhetoric, the truth is you were raised under the law of the jungle. Even if you live your whole life in denial of this as much as you possibly can, and you play along with the mirage of so-called Western civilization and all of your proclaimed values, but if push comes, shove comes next. You never learn how to not behave like animals in the wild. So if ICE pushes you, if the state pushes you, you feel boxed in, you feel cornered, you're only going to see two options, either lash out or give in, rise up or lay down. This is the binary zero-sum Western primitive thinking. And even if you tell yourself that you're rising up and you're fighting for democracy or for principles or what have you, for Western civilizational principles, truth is you're not doing anything but acting like a wounded animal. You're obeying the law of the jungle. You're obeying the law that governs your society, your culture. You're not rejecting that law. You're acting upon that law. You are fully subscribed to the idea that might makes right. And yes, like I said, that's the way that your society operates. So it's not wrong for you to think like that. Rights are determined by power in your society. And if that's the case, and it is the case, then the weak and the vulnerable cannot, by definition, have their rights violated because they don't have any rights to violate. So you want to rise up, you want to fight, because fighting is the only recourse that there is in the jungle. Is the only recourse for securing your rights. Is if you can prove that you have the capability to prevent yourself from being violated and prevent yourself from being abused. That's the only way, only through power. So I'm saying your responses are predictable, and your responses have been predicted, and they're counting on you acting exactly according to that programming, because they're the ones who programmed you. Like I said before, this is a win-win for them. It's a win-win for the state. If you fight, then they can crack down, and if you lay down, then there's no resistance to cracking down. You understand? If you fight, then they can justify the crackdown, and if you don't fight, then they don't even need to bother trying to justify the crackdown because everybody's already submitted. So they can just do whatever they want. This is win-win. And you have no reference point. You have no framework. You have no well of moral, cultural creativity that could give you any other way to proceed. You don't know what else to do because your structures are all empty facades. So the outcome, I'm afraid to say, is a foregone conclusion. See, this is the part where the trauma comes in because you were raised on a fallacious set of empty principles about rights and about virtues and about democracy and the power of the people and whatnot, and the American dream and so forth. So it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to come to terms with the reality of having no options. But the truth is, there is such a thing as too late. There is such a thing as no solutions. There is such a thing as not having the ingredients and not having the tools to make the thing that you want to make, which means it's not going to get made. And that's just the way it is. Look, thousands upon thousands, no, millions upon millions of Americans have been crushed under the tank tread of the American system while calling out to their star-spangled idols to try to intervene for them or rescue them. Meanwhile, it's Uncle Sam himself that's steering that tank over the soft bodies of the vulnerable in America. That's how your society is. That's the way it's always been. It's always treated everyone around the world that way, and it's treating you that way. And it's never going to be any different. You need to understand this. Yes, it is never going to be any different because it has always been a false civilization. Those have always been lies. Now, I'm not saying that freedom and justice and so forth and all of those nice words, I'm not saying that those are lies. I'm saying it has always been a lie that your so-called civilization ever believed in them, because you never did. So don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Don't be traumatized. You can't afford the indulgence of delusions anymore. And don't think that if you rise up like they want you to do, it's going to stop it or change it or save you. This is the society and this is the culture that you live in. And it's not worse than it ever was before. Something doesn't just start existing at the moment that you see it. And just because it might be happening to more frequently, or it might be happening against different people than it used to happen to, or that it has always happened to, that doesn't mean that there's been any sort of a fundamental worsening of the nature of that society. It's always been this way, and it always will be this way. Because you live on a Hollywood set of morality. There's nothing behind those plywood edifices of principles and values, nothing at all. And you're going to continue to live under the law of the jungle unless and until you learn a new way to live. This is the real dilemma. This is the real dilemma for Westerners. For colonized people, mentally and psychologically colonized people, who still feel foolishly admiring of the West, the indoctrinated mentality, thinking that the West is superior and so on, they can eventually renounce it. They can eventually abandon it. They can drop it because they have an existing, a real and an authentic, developed civilization that they come from, which gives them something to return back to. You understand? Arabs, Asians, Africans, Central and South Americans and so forth, they have a history, they have a culture, they have their own existing frameworks. They can go back to that. They never needed the West, even if they got fooled into thinking that they did. They never needed it. They already have a civilization of their own. They already have a civilizational history. Westerners don't. Westerners have nowhere to go. Westerners have nowhere to turn. They have no history of civilizational development that they can turn back to. So you want to renounce the West, right? But then what? There's no pre-existing moral framework, no pre-existing value system, no pre-existing culture, no pre-existing belief system that you can go back to that's any different than the one that you want to abandon. That's the truth. You didn't adopt Western frameworks. You didn't abandon another framework in favor of the West like a colonized person did. It's in your blood. It's all you've ever known. It's in your cultural and your moral DNA. This isn't the case with colonized people, people with colonized mindsets and so forth. They left something else to adopt Westernism, so they can drop Westernism and go back to their own ways. But Western ways are your ways if you're a Westerner. So you're in a quandary. And yes, obviously, I'm talking mostly about people whose lineage comes from Europe. If you're a member of the global majority, someone with lineage from the global south, even if you are severed from your people and from your past and from your culture, to one degree or another, you do have access. You have something that you can try to relearn, something pre-existing that you can try to relearn and try to integrate with, something that was not predatory, that was not brutal, that was not hypocritical, that was not parasitic and savage. We don't have that. Westerners don't have that. Westerners with European lineage don't have that. There is no single point in history when Europeans ever believed in anything but the law of the jungle. It shouldn't even be called the law of the jungle. It should be called the law of the forest, the law of the hills and the valleys and the mountains and the plains, because we're talking about the law of Western so-called civilization. When we talk about the law of the jungle, it's the law of the Vikings, the law of Darwin, the law of Monroe and Roosevelt and Churchill and Machiavelli. And
Let's go to the next one. What's going on
Nietzsche.
over there?
White House, there's a meeting that could change NATO. It could rewrite the rules of the alliance. On one side is US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. They are representing a White House that is flirting with territorial expansion. On the other side are Denmark and Greenland. Their foreign ministers are in Washington, and they have arrived with a clear message that Greenland is not for sale. But what exactly is this meeting about? And will it legitimize Trump's imperialist claims? Let's start with what's happening. US Vice President J.D. Vance is hosting the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland. Officially, this meeting is about Arctic security, but actually, it's about something far bigger. Trump's renewed obsession with Greenland. Trump says he wants the island. Why? He says it's essential for national security. If the US does not control Greenland, China or Russia will. That's what the US president says, and this is not a one-time claim. It's a claim that Trump has not stopped repeating since last year.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security, and Denmark is not going
Sound like he was chanting it.
to be able to do it. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it.
It's like a broken record. The US needs Greenland for national security, and if you haven't heard it enough, Trump is even posting about it on Truth Social. Look at his latest post, I'm quoting from it. The United States needs Greenland for national security. It is vital for the golden dome we are building. NATO should be leading the way for us to get it. If we don't, Russia or China will, and that's not going to happen. So the same national security pitch once again. But how does Greenland see this? Well, listen to their prime minister.
Grønland ikke til salg.
Greenland does not want to be owned by the United States. Greenland does not want to be governed by the United States. Greenland will not be part of the United States. We choose the Greenland we know today, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Now we are faced with a geopolitical crisis, and if we have to choose between the United States and Denmark here and now, we choose Denmark. We choose NATO, we choose the Kingdom of Denmark, we choose the EU.
Lagt et kæmpestort pres på vores land.
So Greenland does not want to join the United States. That's the sentiment, and they could not have expressed it more clearly. They choose Denmark. All polls indicate that a majority of Greenlanders do not want to be part of the US. What's more, 62% of Americans oppose US military action in Greenland. 62%. But none of this has swayed Donald Trump. Listen to this exchange.
Premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the final word? The Premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
So why does Trump want Greenland? He says it's about national security. Greenland sits on the shortest route between the US and Russia. It hosts critical missile warning radars. It guards the Guyuk Gap. This is a naval checkpoint tracking Russian submarines. The US already has a military base there, by the way. And legally, they can expand this base with Denmark's consent. So if this is only about national security, why does Donald Trump want ownership? The US can boost security in the current setup too. Why does he want to own Greenland? Because national security is just an excuse. What Trump really
Okay, let me get the next one.
wants are
Overnight, flashbangs lighting up the Minneapolis skies as the fight to push ICE out of Minnesota intensifies. Agents seen descending on protesters, forcing them back from a federal building. Earlier Tuesday, federal agents seen dragging people out of their cars and spraying others directly in the face with chemicals.
I don't post.
I don't know if Minneapolis is supposed to be the epicenter of PSYOP and Black Swan events, but I mean, you know, is definitely there's definitely a vibration, a spirit that's roaming in there for these situations to happen, man. You know what I mean? It's a constant, nonstop.
Protesters throwing snowballs and slamming into an ICE vehicle. And newly released video obtained by Bring Me the News showing agents arresting 2 workers outside a Minnesota Target last week. A state lawmaker says they're both U.S. citizens. This, as according to multiple officials, at least 6 federal prosecutors resigned from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota over concerns that the department is focusing on investigating 37-year-old mother Renee Good for ties to groups or individuals that have been protesting or impeding immigration enforcement efforts in Minneapolis, including her widow, instead of investigating Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who shot and killed her last week. The Justice Department calling the killing justified and is not cooperating with state or local agencies on their investigation. President Trump now vowing a, quote, day of reckoning and retribution is coming. The administration announcing Tuesday the DHS is revoking temporary protected status for thousands of Somali refugees, saying they must leave this country by March 17th. We spoke to several Somali immigrants and refugees shaken over the reversal.
There's no place to go back there. I don't think so. It's not safe to go back right now.
And the Minnesota House of Representatives firing back at the Trump administration, saying ending TPS only creates fear, disrupts families, and destabilizes communities. Meantime, activists are trying to leverage the economic powers of the community here to drive ICE out, urging on January 23rd, no school, no work, no shopping.
All right, with that, let's get some scriptures. The scriptures. All right. All right, Salakia. This is Psalms 94 and 16, and it reads, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless Yahweh had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. Okay, so we need Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And we ought to fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because what's coming now is that he is going to let this devil unleash As you can see in the videos, he is letting him unleash, man. And they're not going to just be doing this in the streets. It's going to become more organized to where they're going to start roaming in people's homes. Like I said earlier, I don't know if Minneapolis is like, the ground zero epicenter for these things to happen, but they're happening. And it's only going to grow. It's going to increase. Things are not going to get better. Things are going to get more worse to the point that you're not, or you don't want to go outside. It's going to be that dangerous. Let's look in the NLT. NLT, because I got the Good News Translation set up too. So I'm trying to get some scriptures also in the Good News Translation, because I have it set up to do so. Let's see. I want to get Psalms 94 in the NLT 16, and it reads, "Who will protect me from the wicked? Who will stand up for me against evildoers? Unless Yahweh had helped me, I would have soon have settled in the silence of the grave." All right, let's go to Jeremiah. And I'm using the GNT today as well. We're going to go to Jeremiah 49 and 19 in the GNT, and it reads, like a lion coming out of the thick woods along the Jordan River up to the green pasture land, I will come and make the Edomites run away suddenly. From their country. Then the leader I choose will rule the nation. Who can compare to me? Who would dare challenge me? What ruler can oppose me? There's none that can oppose Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's none who is like Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let's read it in the NLT. Excuse me. And it reads, I will come like a lion from the thickets of the Jordan, leaping on sheep in the pasture. I will chase Edom from its land, and I will appoint the leader of my choice. For who is like me, and who can challenge me? What ruler can oppose my will? None, because Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is the Lord of hosts. Let's go to Genesis 49 and 9 in the NLT, and I'll also get it in the GNT. Bear with me, I'm dealing with two different apps. So this is Genesis 49 and 9 in the GNT, Good News Translation. It reads, Judah is like a lion, killing his victim and returning to his den. Stretching out and lying down, no one dares disturb him. So this is what Esau is doing. He is stirring up Judah. He is stirring up the kingdom of Judah. The Levites, the Benjaminites, and the Judites, because we're next on Esau's we're next as far as his agenda, as far as what's being done in Minneapolis to the northern kingdom mainly. He's going to bring it to the southern kingdom next. This is why we bring these videos out, for you to have an understanding of what's going on, because everything is scriptural. You know what I'm saying? Everything is prophecy. And this is what we're supposed to do, is bring out the news. Let me bring it up here first, too. That way you have an idea. And it reads, Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating its prey. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down, like a lioness who dares to rouse him. So, yeah, man, Judah is ready for Yahweh Shem Yahushai to allow him to get busy. But first, he's going to allow Esau to do what he does. This is Micah 2:2 in the KJV. And it reads, and they covet fields and take them by violence, in houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And you see, this is what Judah is doing. Salaki, you see what Esau is doing. He's oppressing us. I'm going to say kingdom by kingdom, because he's ready to really run down on all of Israel. Because again, Revelation 12:12, he knows he has but a short time. So, he's got to move fast. So, that's not what I want. I want to get Joel. Uh-oh. Please just bear with me, Joel 3:2 in the GNT. And it reads, I will gather all the nations and bring them into the valley of judgment. There I will judge them for all they have done to my people. They have scattered the Israelites in foreign countries and divided Israel, my land. The GNT is cold. It's cold. Let's go to Let's go to Sirach. It's cold, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Let's go to Sirach 17:11. And it reads, beside this, he gave them knowledge and law of life for an heritage. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. He's never done that with anybody else other than Israel. So there's nothing anyone else can do but get ready, because you're going into, I'm going to keep it PC for you. You're going into servitude. You know what I'm saying? And even though we know situations have happened the way they have in the past couple of days and week or so, you know what I'm saying? This is all the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And all these things must happen in order for us to have the kingdom. Even 2/3 of our people being destroyed too, because it's coming next, man. It's not what you think. What you think is about to happen is not what you think is about to happen. Harsh things are about to happen, man. Let's go to a classic one. Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28:48 in GNT, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway on here, and it reads, so then you will serve the enemies that Yahweh is going to send against you. You will be hungry, thirsty, and naked, in need of everything. Yahweh will oppress you harshly until you are destroyed. The Lord will bring against you a nation from the ends of the earth, a nation whose language you do not know. They will swoop down on you like an eagle. And this is what they have done to us. And now they have put us in a position where they're going to get one more hardcore press on us before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai allows Yahushai to get us out of here, man. Because that's what we're praying for, man. We want to get up out of here. And you see the things that's happening, and it's going to come to a home near you real soon. You're not going to be able to escape this. This is Sirach 39:26, and it reads, The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners, they are turned into evil. And this is what this freaking devil has done. He has made everything. He has cut down the fruit trees. He has turned free living into debt and struggling to survive. He has made tax super inflation going into hyperinflation, where you won't be able to survive. And then he's going to turn everyone into organic a computer. And if you do not choose to accept that, then you're going to be destroyed. Let's get Jeremiah in the KJV. I just like bringing it out like that with this one. Jeremiah 17:4, and it reads, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." And this is what we're going through. These are the things we're dealing with right now. We're serving another enemy, and now we are going to be abused and thrown into concentration camps, and we're going to be tortured, and all of these things. You know, it's going to be a famine. We're not going to be fed. They're going to give us diseases and all of these wicked things that they're going to do, man, to punish the ones, truthfully, that the Most High don't want. But at the same time, for those who are the sons of Yahweh and Yahweh, you still have to go through things. You know what I'm saying? Sirach 2:1, Ecclesiasticus 2:1, Psalms. I thought I was here already, but Psalms 49 and 11 in the GNT, and it reads, "Their graves are their homes forever. They that stay for all time, though they once had lands of their own." Let's get that in the NLT. Psalms 49 and 11. And it reads, "The grave is their eternal home, where they will stay forever. They may name their estates after themselves, but their fame will not last. They will die just like animals." And this is what we want for our enemies, for Yahweh and Yahweh to get us out of here, man, to take us out of here and to hide us from our enemies, because now they are looking for us and they're trying to figure out where are the ones who oppose a threat to us. And this is go to Revelation 17 and 16. I know we brought this out before, but this is what when the lady asked him, Denmark said they don't want you, and he said, "Well, who said that?" She named someone. He said, "Well, I don't know him, and that's his problem." But this is what's going to happen because of if they're pursuing NATO, and they're going to pursue NATO. This is the prophecy that is coming to pass soon, and this is Revelation 17 and 16 in the KJV. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Now I want to read that in the GNT. Yeah, I don't read the GNT as much. I do have a physical book, but I was also able to find it on the computer, so I wanted to, expand my horizon. It's not what I wanted there. Revelation 17 and 16, and it reads, the 10 horns you saw, and the beast will hate the prostitute, and they will take away everything she has and leave her naked. They will eat her flesh and destroy her with fire. That fire is the nuclear warheads that's coming, that they're all going to shoot at Babylon because of the mentality of them thinking that they don't need anyone, and they can take what they want, when they want, how they want it. Matthew 6 and 33, I read it in the NLT, and it says, seek the kingdom. This is Yahushua speaking. Listen up and listen good. Seek the kingdom above all else. This is what we should do. This is what we are to do, even in facing the adversity and the things that we're going through right now, and the things that you see on the news and such and so. Seek the kingdom of the Most High above all else, and live righteously, and He will give you everything you need. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Tomorrow's trouble is enough for today. One more scripture. That was a good scripture, though. That's a good scripture right there. Again, this is Yahushua, and I'm going to read it in the NLT, and it reads, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And this is what you're seeing Babylon do right now. This is the clay and the iron mixed together at the feet of what the statue was that Daniel explained to Nebuchadnezzar in the time of him wanting to have his dream interpreted. And when Daniel interpreted, he expressed the clay and the iron that our elder apostles have broken down to us. So, yeah, man, Abba Barak, this is how you were edified with the lesson. I know it was a little long and draggy and such and so, but, I was able to get through it. And, I pray that you was edified with that. And I'm going to say, Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakradash. Shalom, salutations again, and double honors to the elder apostles on down, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.